real marksmanship. One of the real pre-learning phases is respect for their weapons. The skeet range is indeed popular with this troop. A camping day might be devoted to archery. It's taught by experts on the camp staff. Don Melrose is the director of Lake Camp. Ernie Dunsworth is camp ranger. Biggest attraction of the camp is its excellent beach and boating opportunities. The camp is located on the point which juts out into the lake and provides quiet water for the beach. Proper handling of canoes and boats is also part of the training. If accidents do happen, the camp is ready for that too. Beach and boating areas are under constant surveillance by lifeguards. The buddy system is used for swimming. Camp crash boats stand by, ready to rescue. This is the O'Neill Irwin Manufacturing Company at Lake City. It employs approximately 100 skilled craftsmen. The types of machines manufactured are benders, brakes, notchers, punch presses, rod parters, rollers, and shears. Here, Lester Roper is grinding a 370-pound top casting table for the Acro Power Bender on a large surface grinder. Assembly Supervisor Marks Malloy tests and inspects the Acro Power Bender prior to shipment. This particular machine is tooled to make a 90-degree bend in 1-inch diameter tubing. A tubular furniture manufacturer will use a machine like this. Harry Stewart cutting half-inch diameter cold rolled bar with a Diacro rod parter. The material being tested and sheared is 16-gauge sheet steel. This is a hand-operated slip roll forming 18-gauge sheet stock. Circles, rectangles, and other shapes may be formed in sheet material with this machine. Lake City's Municipal Hospital is the pride and joy of the community. From the front windows, patients have a view of Lake Pepin with its boats and people fishing. A regular staff of nurses are in residence, aided by an auxiliary corps. Normal bed capacity of the hospital is 30 beds. The nurses each have private quarters, and the quarters are furnished to provide the best for off-hour relaxation periods. The hospital was financed by a bond issue, which the people put up themselves. The maternity ward is located on the main floor near the nursery. The operating room and the delivery room are located at the opposite end of the corridor. Inner corridors between surgery and delivery rooms contain wash-up rooms for surgeons and nurses with large sterilizing apparatus. Anyone who has experienced it will remember the exciting sensation of being wheeled into an operating room. At the Lake City Municipal Hospital, the surgical and delivery areas are especially constructed to make them explosion-proof. Floors are of special material to prevent static electricity. Lights and electrical outlets are shielded to prevent sparks from igniting ether fumes. Helping the Lake City community in its fight against illiteracy is the Carnegie Tryon Public Library. It was originally organized in 1903 and moved to the present building in 1922. The librarian is Miss Ethel Dunn. Although the land was granted by Mr. Tryon, funds from the Carnegie Foundation helped in the building. It is now city-supported and has grown to 9,000 volumes. Summer residents as well as hometown folks find a welcome at the library to read and to browse, to check out books and magazines, or to ask for information. Here is Miss Audrey Wise checking out a book from Miss Dunn. The library's historical and geographical and ornithological collections get plenty of use by local school students who need help with special papers. Many of the library's magazine subscriptions and special books are donated by persons and organizations of the community. One well-attended library activity is the Saturday morning children's hour. Tots sometimes have to be shooed out when noontime rolls around. They enjoy finger plays such as Baby's Toys, The Squirrel, and the one about the greedy little pigs who fell in their feeding trough. There's always a storytelling session too. But the first question is always, what are we going to make today? The children like to have something to take home, a picture, a paper boat, or a magic bird. The object of all this is to wheedle the children into an interesting reading line. Art classes are also held in the library. Happily dabbing at their canvases are Mrs. Frank Durant, Marion Frances Schreck, Roxanne Gleason, Mrs. Edward Barber, and Miss Edwina Schluter and Mrs. Bach. The library has grown from a single room in the City Hall to its present spacious and inviting quarters through the efforts of generous patrons and its active board of directors. Another attraction bringing tourists and visitors to Lake City is the Terrace, Minnesota's most beautiful and largest supper club. Preparation is underway to receive evening supper crowds. Big name bands, dining and dancing are the main attractions here. There are dining facilities for a crowd of 500 people. 1,000 yards of carpeting cover the floors. Owner Jack Lowry calls the Terrace Lake City's fourth largest industry, employing 44 persons. The kitchen is always a busy spot. The highlight of the week is the Wednesday, when they have the Wednesday night smorgasbord. Lake City business and social organizations use the club for company banquets, luncheons, meetings, or conventions. The club ages all its own meat. Also, they cater to weddings and receptions. This is the Lake Pepin Cooperative Creamery, which is helping to make dairy products a leading source of farm income. The creamery processes milk and butter fat for nearly 300 farmers in this region, most of whom are shareholders in the Cooperative Association and receive a part of each year's profits. $644,000 were paid farm patrons for milk and butter fat, leaving $25,000 to distribute after payment of all operating expenses. The plant employs a total of 6 persons regularly. The annual salaries total $22,569, and money from sales is also set aside for the purchase of new equipment. This machine automatically sterilizes milk bottles. Milk for local sale is bottled under the Lake Pepin label. Sales total $41,000 in 1 year. Before the milk is bottled, each vat of milk is examined and given the methylene blue test to check bacteria and sediment content. The milk is sterilized and chilled before going to the bottler. The machine bottles 1,500 bottles daily. Butter is a specialty of the Lake Pepin Co-op. The creamery churns 2,000 pounds of butter each day. This means about 40